This doesn't seem like a new financial system per se, but really an extension or perhaps expansion of our present one.
Well, I would disagree with that. I think what I believe we're seeing is a new open infrastructure layer on the internet, a missing infrastructure layer of the internet that is designed around value exchange and economic coordination, that is rooted in immutable data, the ability to interact with counterparties in a very, very safe way that hasn't existed before on the internet. And really, many of the efficiencies that the internet brings in terms of moving information brought into moving value, but also with greater degrees of security than are often offered to the existing financial system. So I really do believe we're building a new global economic infrastructure layer.
Additional guidance defining clear rules of the road for investors and market participants needed at this time.
Thank you for the question. We believe this is a very important area of focus for the SEC and this committee. We do agree that the laws are clear. However, existing laws, regulation, and legal precedent make it clear that blockchain tokens are not securities. So we believe that the law clearly shows that blockchain-based digital assets are one of two things: either a new form of digital property or a new way to record ownership, as Brian Brooks spoke earlier about. We do believe that clarity is needed because these are new assets. It's a new way of transacting with these new protocols that we spoke about, and I think it would benefit all of us in the ecosystem to have agreed upon definitions.
Of the really innovative properties of cryptocurrency markets are 24/7 risk monitoring engines. We do not have overnight risk or weekend risk or holiday risk in the same way traditional assets do, which allow risk monitoring and de-risking of positions in real time to help mitigate volatility. We've been operating for a number of years with billions of dollars of open interest. We've never had customer losses, clawbacks, or anything like that, even going through periods of large movements in both directions. We store collateral from our users in a way which is not always done in the traditional financial ecosystem to backstop positions. And the last thing that I'll say is if you look at what precipitated some of the 2008 financial crisis, you saw a number of bilateral, bespoke, non-reported transactions happening between financial counterparties, which then got repackaged and re-leveraged again and again and again, such that no one knew how much risk was in that system until it all fell apart. If you compare that to what happens on FTX or other major cryptocurrency venues today, there's complete transparency about the full open interest. There's complete transparency about the positions that are held. There's a robust, consistent risk framework applied, and we're excited to work with the CFTC on our U.S. licensed and regulated venue to bring a lot of this to U.S. customers as well.
Welcome back, JDC Army, Crypto Army. My name is Jose Contreras. I'm here to bring you some updates regarding cryptocurrencies and what's going on, particularly around why everything crashed, right? There was a sudden crash, a sudden drop in price just when we thought things were about to break out. And as you saw in the previous clips, the majority of the reason that things went down is because Congress is in constant battle trying to put pressure, selling pressure on cryptocurrency by creating regulations. Is regulations bad? Long term, no. And there is some kind of regulation needed so that when cryptocurrencies are created and we trade with confidence, knowing that they can't be illegal. Right now, there's always that pending doom feeling that something's going to be deemed illegal, it's going to crash, and that's the end of that. Now, what do I think is going on with Congress? I think they feel like they have no control over it, right? And if you know our Congress very well, if they're not making money off of it, they don't care about it. And so if they're not getting more powerful off of it, they don't care about it. So what's going on right now? Congress has a lot of power, and our banking systems are all centralized, whereas cryptocurrencies are decentralized, and that makes them scared. And if you know our congressmen, they will lie, they will make things up in fear that they will lose some kind of control or power, or it doesn't benefit them politically. So this is what is really causing the crypto market to come down. And so Bitcoin is kind of the king of crypto for now. And there's been a ban in China for Bitcoin that brought it down. Russia has put a ban on cryptocurrency. Ukraine, there's been a little bit of a slowdown between the whole Russia-US thing. United States wants to put regulations, and they don't like the power that it takes to mine some of these coins. So there's pressure on both sides of the world on cryptocurrency, and that brought it down. But it will not last forever. Cryptocurrencies always come down on these types of news, and not just cryptocurrency, right? The stock market also took a dump. So these are things that are going on in the background. And as you saw from the previous video clips, there are people, the CEOs, they're fighting for cryptocurrency in Congress so that they better understand, and they bring very valid points. Congress is so worried about people not, and when it comes down to it, it's about people not reporting money for taxes, right? They don't really care about a lot of the other stuff. They also want to make sure that Congress doesn't lose power, and they will not lose power, right? This is something that needs to happen. This is just like an enhancement to the internet, like you saw earlier, a protocol layer to the internet that has been long needed, right? They mentioned about how some illegal things happen and so much manipulation in our current economic system that caused the 2008 crash, and that this would bring complete transparency as to what's going on. So do I have worries? I would have worries if I was in some less stable, no use case coins. With the regulation, it's going to really restrict the U.S. from creating and buying coins that really have no purpose. And so that's why I always stick to a certain set of coins. You never want to put all your money in one thing, but you definitely want to have at least maybe a minimum of 5 different currencies that you want to put into, because there will be some winners and some losers, right? They can't all do the same thing and all be successful. Eventually, one winner is going to come on top, and it's going to shut down the others. And so that's something that you definitely want to keep an eye on. And so when you look at these price actions and what's going on, I wouldn't worry about it right now. Let's wait and see what Congress says and does. I also saw an article about how Joe Biden and the Democrats and his whole office, they want to do some kind of executive order on cryptocurrency sometime in February. And that, in my opinion, is an overreach of power. The only time you want to do an executive action is when you want no opinions from any other party or anybody else, and you just want to get things done in your favor. So I'm not a fan of Joe Biden doing an executive order on cryptocurrency, because I do think this needs to be well researched. The Congress needs to be well educated, and the laws need to be fair so that as to not create a massive crash. So it's things to keep an eye out. There is a little bit of uncertainty, but as long as you hold some of the main coins like Stellar Lumen, XRP, HBAR, there's Crow, things that are just around the world, not just the US, because the US if the US hits out of something that gets accepted globally, there's going to be a lot of pressure on the US to get accepted as well. So I wouldn't worry too much about what's going on. I just wanted to give you guys that brief update, and that's a lot of the reasons why cryptocurrency is going down. Stellar, XRP, a lot of these other coins, the market isn't mature enough to break away from Bitcoin. Bitcoin controls everything. Bitcoin goes up, everything comes up. Bitcoin goes down, everything comes down. Eventually, in the future, as these cryptocurrencies grow, you're going to start to see a divergence from what Bitcoin does versus what these other coins are doing, right? So when Bitcoin is down, everything else could potentially be up. And it could, be the same with a lot of the other coins that, they're going to start to break away from Bitcoin. And right now, a lot of coins that are tied to Ethereum are kind of doing the same thing as everything else with Bitcoin. So if Ethereum goes down, sometimes these other coins tend to go down as well. But as things progress, things are constantly moving. People are moving away from popular stuff because of inefficiencies, such as Ethereum losing some power over its inefficient gas fees. So even myself included, when I consider investing, I'm now looking for other cryptocurrencies that are not built on Ethereum. Because Ethereum built cryptocurrencies, unless they have another layer on top of them to kind of bypass the gas fees, I'm not a fan of Ethereum. And I'm not a fan of their company because of how delayed they are. We should have already have been fixing the gas fees, and Ethereum needs to move on that now, instead of being greedy and taking your sweet time while it's costing hundreds of dollars to make a single transaction. But with that said, Bitcoin right now, it looks to have built some kind of bottom here. It still has the potential to go down, and I've said it before, do not be surprised if Bitcoin hits the $30,000 mark or a little bit below. Will it bounce back? Yes, it could potentially bounce back, and I've said it before that these little bumps down here in this section once looked massive compared to now this, and eventually these massive bumps may look like this on the chart, very small in comparison. So do not be surprised if the rebound happens. Do not let the FUD shake you from your positions. If you're at a loss, do not sell, just hold. Things will bounce back. If you are in gains, feel free to take some money off the top. Never sell everything, because when things bounce back, you're going to regret that you're now buying them at a higher price than if you just held them from when you purchased them at a lower price, right? I made another video before on an exit strategy on how to sell cryptocurrency in a proper manner, in a way where you're continuously winning and making gains. So do not be afraid, even if Bitcoin drops down to $3,000, because that's happened before and we see how far up it came back. So just be patient. There is going to be a catalyst. It's coming, and this is going to cause everything to jump up. In particular, if any cryptocurrency that falls within the regulations that come out from the US, expect them to jump up. Expect them not to go down. But if you have one of those weird coins that don't have any use case and is really just for fun, expect those to be some serious issues in trading in the US in the near future. But all we can do right now is speculate. This is just my opinion. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy, sell, or hold. I'm just giving you some of the details so that when the stuff does come out, you have the news from Congress that I'm expecting to come out sometime next month. You're well informed. Read between the lines. Do not just believe all the bearish articles out there. You must always understand what's really going on in the background for you to make a proper decision. All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this content, and I'll catch you on the next one.